Peace, love, and blessings, fam. Day 24 of Wisdom of the Ages by Wayne W. Dyer. We will be doing 60 days consecutively. If you've missed any of the previous readings, you can go to YouTube to Loyalty Life, spelled Lyfe, Legacy LLC, to catch up on those episodes. Day 24, Imagination. What if you slept? And what if in your sleep you dreamed? And what if in your dream you went to heaven and there plucked a strange, beautiful flower? And what if, when you awoke, you had that flower in your hand? Sam Taylor Coleridge, English poet and essayist. Samuel Taylor Coleridge was the most perceptive English critic of his time and an intellectual spokesman for the English Romantic movement. I have so much regard for this poem by one of the world's most renowned poets, literary critics, theologians, and philosophers that I used it as the display quote for a book that I wrote about creating miracles titled Real Magic. Coleridge's working life was consumed with expressing a fundamental creative principle that is applicable to human beings and the universe as a whole. The first step in creation, this unifying principle, is imagination. This poignantly simple poem invites you to delve into your imagination and to reconsider your agreement with reality. What we know is real has its limits, but imagination is boundless in the dream state. Our agreement with reality invalidates the idea of being able to bring an object from the dream world into the working world. But Samuel Taylor Coleridge suggests you reconsider. What if you were able to do such a thing? What then? Consider what you are capable of in your dream state. Sleeping for 8 hours each day means you will be in this dream state for 30 years if you live to the age of 90. That is 1/3 of your life that you enter a state of awareness in which your agreement with reality is breached, and you manifest everything that you need for the dream simply by the power of your thoughts. You have no concept of time. In fact, you can go forward or backward in time at will. You talk to and can see the dead, fly if you so choose, walk through trees and buildings, change your shape instantaneously, become an animal if you so desire, breathe underwater, and be in more than one place at the same time. The most amazing part about all this dream activity is that for the length of the dream, you are 100% convinced that all of this is real. Your unlimited imagination is so convincingly powerful that for 1/3 of your life, you lose your agreement with reality. When you wake, you say to yourself, this part is real, and all that activity in my dream state is unreal. Samuel Taylor Coleridge spent his life examining the power of imagination to alter the perceptions of the 2/3 of your life called waking consciousness. In other words, what if you awoke? You had the flower in your hand. You would have to bilocate, which means to be in more than one place at a time. Let's examine bilocating. This quality of an extremely high level of awareness that gives one the ability to be in more place than one time, be in more than one place at a time. My apologies. How could such a feat ever be accomplished? Go back to your dream state. Every character in your dream is you assuming the role with your mind. When you are having a conversation with people in your dream, you are yourself. Then, at the same instant, you are whoever you are talking to as well. You actually do not have conversations with someone else in your dream. You are those characters and yourself all at the same time. You are bilocating. Similarly, The flower in your dream is not a flower in the same sense that you experience it while awake. In fact, you are the flower in your dream, and because your imagination shuts down to almost zero when you awaken, you lose the ability to create without limitation as soon as you leave your dream. It is not absurd to think that it is possible to bring a flower from the imaginary dream state into this level that we agree is waking awareness. Everything you are capable of accomplishing, experiencing, and knowing in the 1/3 of life spent in your imagination, you can accomplish everything and know in the remaining 2/3. The key is to banish doubts and allow yourself the privilege of flying directly into the ecstatic state while awake. This poetic expression of the dream and the flower, which I've read and recited thousands of times, always reminds me to work at being a waking dreamer by allowing myself the same kinds of privileges, freedoms, and yes, power that I take for granted in my dream state. I remind myself of what another famous poet of mine, William Blake, said about this fascinating world of imagination. Imagination is the real and eternal world, of which this vegetable universe is but a faint shadow. The eternal body of man is the imagination. That is the divine creator himself, the divine body. To me, it seems silly to think of being awake and being in the dream state as two distinct experiences of reality. I know that my dreams are not predictors of what is going to happen in my waking life, nor are they symbols that provide clues to the real me. For me, this dream state is like an open invitation into the mystical world of imagination. It is my opportunity to explore limitlessness, to know it firsthand, and to become totally convinced beyond all doubt of the realm of imagination. Then, while awake, I can go into my imagination and use it to travel miles beyond ordinary waking awareness. Then, this waking world becomes but a canvas to my imagination. When you rewrite your agreement with reality, you can use your experience of that 1/3 of your life while ensconced securely in your imagination to accomplish all that you desire without needing to go to sleep. Imagine yourself able to manifest into your material world whatever you are capable of conceiving in your mind and let go of any doubts that you may have allowed to creep in. As a young boy in a crowded Detroit public school class, I can recall getting into big trouble for my honesty in handling this dream awake dichotomy. I was far away in a daydream, deeply blissful about the mental excursion I was on, when a teacher startled me by saying, "Would you care to rejoin us here, Mr. Dyer?" My immediate response was, "Not really," for which I was once again sent to the principal's office as punishment for living out my imagination while awake in a classroom. Do you believe it's possible to hold a flower in your hand that you plucked from a garden in your dreams? I know it to be possible, and so does Samuel Taylor Coleridge, the poet of the imagination. To apply the power of your creative imagination in your life today, begin by 1. Always keeping in mind that you become what you think about. Be very careful about any thoughts you harbor that involve doubt. Number 2. Keep track of your dreams in the sense of remembering those unreal experiences that you were absolutely convinced of while they were occurring. Then work at eliminating your conditioned beliefs about their impossibility. You want to eradicate the word impossible from your consciousness. Truly, if you can conceive it, you can create it. 3. Literally rewrite your agreement with reality so that it reads, anything I am capable of for 1/3 of my life, I can add to the other 2/3 if I so choose. Let's say that again. Repeat after me. Anything I am capable of For 1/3 of my life, I can add to the other 2/3 if I so choose. And number 4, live more in your imagination. Give yourself the freedom to wander into unfamiliar territory in your mind and to explore new possibilities in your fantasies, excluding nothing. These imaginative meanderings will ultimately become the catalyst for living an unlimited life. Your imagination, just like your body, grows through exercise. Wake up and hold that flower in your hand. Now, Mr. Dyer kind of confused me there because he's saying he agrees with Coleridge about things being able to actually be done that seem impossible, but then he actually states that he knows it is the imaginary world. So if it's imaginary, then you just discredited yourself in that statement. Let me start there. Now, from the things that I've experienced and the things that we are taught at Galacticus, when you go into an awakened state, which is the dream state, you're actually back in the most real place you can possibly be, because we know this is merely a vessel. The entity that is inside of you leaves every night and reports to your soul. That was a little deep, wasn't it? So it's less a what if, but more a why. Why do we go back and do these things? I was gonna say, what if when you go to these things, you're actually doing this and that and this, but the reality is you are. So why are you doing that? It's to reconnect. It's to recharge. Because the fascinations of this world are very minuscule when you're in a place where you can tap in and do everything that you are able to. Fly, jump as high as you want to, breathe underwater, have unimaginable strength, shapeshift, morph. Those are things that we're actually able to do here. But we haven't developed the capacity to do it because many don't have time. I spoke about that yesterday. We have all the time in the world to do whatever you choose. So you think the monks that you see or the videos that you might come across of people levitating and things of that nature, it just happened? No, it took time. It took effort. It took strength. So if you want to be able to go into the dream state and bring things back, you are capable of doing such. I remember reading about Don Juan and Carlos Castaneda. It's a book about going to meet a shaman and a man becoming a shaman. And he was taught about dream bridging. He was told to envision certain things before going into the awakened state, and to hold that so strong that he found it in his recording. We don't call them dreams at Galacticus. We call them recordings because you're more inclined to remember it. It's a type of mental programming that says, oh, it's a recording, I can play it back, because that's actually what happens. When you wake up, you're actually watching your dream from the end to the beginning, because so much has happened, so much more than you may even begin to remember. Now imagine that across all of the expanse of your life. So let me get back to it. If you envision these things and find them in your recording, dream bridging is when that comes into your reality. So say you imagine a blue butterfly before going into the awakened state, and you hold that so strong and you find it in your recording, and it comes to you that you can be walking down the street and a blue butterfly comes out of nowhere and lands on you. Now, it may not be the same as physically waking up with the flower in your hand, but you have just manipulated your reality, because this is an encoded world. You going into the awakened state and knowing how to function is actually you pulling a Neo and rewriting the code to your reality that you are able to do at any given time. You are able to shift and jump timelines faster than you believe, but you have to want to do it. And you have to have the time or make the time. I think that's it. The question is, what are you going to do with your time? Are you going to continue to allow yourself to not experiences, not experience the grand impossibilities of life that we have presented for us because they want us to stay stuck? They want us to stay in a state of this vessel and not understanding that we have so much more. At some point, they're going to figure out a way to stop you from dreaming because they know at that point, that's when you're really going home to understand who you truly are. I see you. I know who you truly are. I implore you to learn who you truly are and make time to learn who you truly are and grow into the reality of impossibilities. Thank you for being here for yourself first and foremost. Walk in love, walk in light, walk in peace, and know that you are loved.